Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have returned. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round number 9 of the 2019 Ride365.com Nationals NMX Simulator. Live here from Washougal on SYS TV. I am Kellen Brower, and I am set to bring you guys all the action here this week. Again, I was off last week visiting Austria, checking out a new video game, so I was not able to stream Spring Creek / Millville, so we did not get a stream of that. I know A. Wood and Brandon Holmes were able to take over a little bit of streaming duties back last week. So if you didn't catch that and you're wanting to get filled back in on what happened, here's a look at our overall results from Spring Creek in the 250 class. Walter Gebhardt goes 1-2 to edge out Sean Klein, who went 3-1. Tyler Lang goes 2-3, and that was your podium finishers. And obviously, those three gentlemen are very close in the point standings as we take a look, right now. Tyler Lang was your points leader going into Spring Creek, but it is now Gebhardt who will have that points lead coming into Washougal this week. He is 1 point up on Lang in the championship, only 1 point in it. And Sean Klein sits a little further back. He is 20 points down, but obviously still well and truly alive for this championship fight and looking to take it down to the end. Here are the qualifying times this week, though, that we have. Isaiah Dickerson making his return to racing this week, going a second and a half faster than anybody, laying on a 224 flat, edges out Gebhardt for the championship fight. With 4/10 up on Gebhardt. Frank Jackson on the 280 goes fourth fastest on a 224.8, and Trent Shepard in there on a 225 flat for your top 5 positions. Cutoff time this week did not exist. We're going to have no consolation race, so we're going to jump right into the motos in a quick second here. But yeah, excited to be back for you guys. Hopefully A. Wood and Brandon Holmes, if you guys caught their stream last week, did a decent job of running things back then. And I apologize, I was not here, but we'll bring you guys all the intense action tonight here at Washougal. Love Washougal, great track up here in the Pacific Northwest, just across the border from Oregon into the south side of Washington, just outside of Vancouver, Washington, and about a 25 to 30 minute drive away from Portland, Oregon. Situated in the beautiful southern forest here in Washington State. Really on your way to the track, you just kind of show up, like just out of nowhere, there's just a track that appears. It's really, really a nice drive in. Not a nice drive out, but yeah, super excited to bring you guys the action here tonight. And with this championship fight in the 250 class being so close, we have a lot of things to talk about as these races develop. Of course, we'll get it started with our versus performance computations one to watch versus PC.com. Head over there to get your PC needs satisfied today, and they'll be bringing you our one to watch here in this 250 moto number 1. We'll go ahead and go through the field in just a second and take a look at who we're going to pick for that versus PC one to watch, as well as who might end up with that Racetech.com Whole Shot Award. And eventually halfway through this moto, we'll also drop in with a moto option top 20 rundown. Big shout out to all of our sponsors. They continue to support the show, make things flow along nicely, and make this Race Factory Gaming Outdoor National Championship come to life. Ride365.com, of course, the title sponsor of the series, as they have been the last couple of years. And yeah, we're going to get racing here in just a second. Looks like the lineup check / parade lap out there on the track right now. Load-in time's always a little bit longer for me as I have all those skins. So that's why when people post only 4K skins and don't give me those 2K options, I'm usually the old man that yells at a cloud. There we go. All right. Let's see. Who are we going to have our versus PC one to watch in this one? 30, 35, probably some odd guys going to the gate right now. Gonna make life interesting on this Washougal racetrack. Oh, actually, not 35 guys, only 20. Oh no, 31. Tyler Lang, Jonathan Alexander, Jack Fowler, Rasmus Eriksson, Sean Klein, Daniel Mills, Trent Shepard, Seth Garrett, Walter Gebhardt, Brett Powers, Kevin Gonzalez, Bryce Whelan, Austin Baird, Dalton Plessinger, Neil Fitzpatrick, Jacob Warden, Roy Mitchell, Frank Jackson, Chris Schmidl, who was really good at the GP earlier this week in Belgium. Jeremy Seabolt's on a new team this week. He's on the Odyssey MX team. So that's one that we'll keep an eye on as well. Chandler Bloxham, Phil Bull, Dylan Copeland, Connor Wells, Isaiah Dickerson, Trent Adams, Carter Hutcherson, all going out there to give it their best. And versus PC want to watch this moto is going to be Kevin Gonzalez. I want to pick a BPC rider. They got a new Pacific Northwest themed setup, a little bit of the Seattle Supersonics gear. Loving the look, and I want to give them some credit for rocking some fresh stuff. So we'll go with Kevin Gonzalez. I know he'll probably be near the front, but nonetheless, it'll still be good to see. A versus PC one to watch on the screen more often than not. All right, Bryce Whelan tends to get some good starts, so we'll keep an eye on him on the start. Look at them all lined up, bar to bar, down the gate. It's time to go racing here at Washougal. Let's turn the board sideways and drop the gate. The 112 of Saunier, I believe that is, getting a great start off of the box. Whelan's going to try to get to the corner first, round that corner, and the Racetech.com Whole Shot Award goes to Bryce Whelan. Frank Jackson looking inside, but it's going to lose a little bit of traction as they head up Horsepower Hill the first time. It is Whelan. It is Dickerson at the front as well. I see Frank Jackson with Tyler Lang side by side as they head over the top of the hill. And everybody fighting for position. Walter Gebhardt on the 13 also in the mix as Whelan's trying to hold off the charge from Dickerson at the beginning of the race here. Both of them charging down to that outside. Frank Jackson really trying to use those inside lines, but I don't believe the lines have developed very much to his liking. Dickerson trying to get on the brakes to make the corner as they switch lines a little bit in the switchbacks. And these two really kind of stretching it out from the field already quite early on. Jackson's still holding down third, and it looks like Gebhardt's moved up to fourth. He's just ahead of Brett Powers as well. Powers on that number 40 coming on through with a really good start here. He's up in fifth, and he's just ahead of Phil Bull, Tyler Lang, and our versus PC one to watch Kevin Gonzalez as the BPC guys running 1 and 8, I believe, right now. Keep an eye on this action out front, though, because Dickerson, after appearing to have not raced last week, or maybe he DNF'd as he goes down, up and over the bars, and Frank Jackson does the exact same thing. Gebhardt has to split the difference, and riders taking all sorts of maneuvers to get out of the way there. It was Hutcherson and Fitzpatrick, his teammate, who both split the distance there. So over the line, lap one, it is Whelan from Gebhardt, then Phil Bull, Tyler Lang, Kevin Gonzalez, Carter Hutcherson, Isaiah Dickerson, Neil Fitzpatrick, Seabolt, Carter, Bloxham, Jackson, Wells, Adams, Shepard, Solis, Plessinger, Warden, Fowler, Batchlett, Bear, Copeland is down before the finish line jump. Look at Brett Powers, who was up there early on. He is well back already, so some crashing there for Donut MX, not going to help his case whatsoever. Frantic action, though, at the front of the field as Whelan goes to work on extending that race lead and didn't even need to pick Gonzalez as a versus PC one to watch because we're getting plenty of the BPC boys out front leading this thing right now with Whelan. So he heads up Horsepower Hill, just trying to get the power down all the way up to the top there. Probably about fourth gear heading up that hill on a 250F. Gebhardt giving chase in second. 1 point separating Gebhardt and Lang in this championship. And they're running second and third on the racetrack now, so this is already shaping up to be an absolute barn burner of a race here. Phil Bull trying to hold off as Dickerson and Gonzalez split around either side of him. They'll drop right out of the hills here. Dickerson with a peek down the inside, not going to do it there. Gonzalez looked outside, now cuts back in, but those lines not developed just yet either. So the 53 machine loses a little bit of distance to these two. Crossover line there for Dickerson as he's trying to get a line on Phil Bull, and they both scrub down the big single. Dickerson peeks inside and will make that move. Just jumping a little bit farther, and then again some dualies action. I love it out front here. These guys going for it. Look at Bull with a cheeky inside move. Oh man, and then they both scrub over the table. Dropping down that hill, it is Dickerson who will hold on. Gotta avoid those hay bales though. Saw him crash there on lap 1. This time he is able to swing a little bit wider. Make it on through clean. Still wheeling over the line. Gebhardt second. Lang right here in third, and Dickerson trying to come through. Wheelies the rollers at the end. And Lang obviously in this title fight, wanting to maximize his points efforts, but his teammate Isaiah Dickerson has other ideas as down goes the race leader. Bryce Whelan lays it down out front. And we have a new leader in Washington. It is Walter Gebhardt to the front of the field. And through these little switchbacks here, he has now opened up that gap just a tiny bit over Lang. Into the wall jump though, Dickerson trying to pull alongside his teammate. Both of them scrub down this double down by the mechanics area. Dickerson thinks better of it and settles in behind. And actually loses a little bit of traction on the exit. Now up Horsepower Hill they go. Lang trying to reel back in. Your race leader Gebhardt, Dickerson right there. Then we got Whelan and Phil Bull on the 22 with Gonzalez coming up from behind. All these guys kind of jockeying for position as Whelan slides out in the background. He's going to lose those 2 positions to Bull and his teammate Gonzalez. So it's coming unraveled here awfully quickly for the 49. He's got to try to settle it down. All the while, this battle between the teammates going on for second. Dickerson clearly feeling the flow on this racetrack. 1.5 seconds faster than anybody else in qualifying. And right now trying to, almost seems like he's kind of utilizing that to his advantage to push his teammate Lang forward. Both of them just laying it down on the floater single into the sand. And now back up to the top. Little sky shot step up into the back. Dickerson trying so hard to get the power down on that MV Films 250F. Ooh, Lang clipping, and even worse behind was Dickerson, both of them getting into those hay bales. And that's going to be something to keep an eye on, as that line pushes out a little bit even more before that roller. These guys just bouncing their way through, looking like Marvin Muscan through a set of whoops as they make their way down past the finish line. Jump one more time on to lap number 4. 7 minutes in the books, 23 minutes and 2 laps to go, and Dickerson tucks the front wheel and down he goes. Phil Bull is going to slide through, as will Gonzalez, and that is the second time Dickerson has been off the bike in this moto. Not exactly what he was hoping for. Up now to this battle between Gonzalez and Phil Bull, our versus PC one to watch. Kevin Gonzalez versus the Australian sensation Phil Bull. Number 22 rider has won a moto in this class before. Knows how to get it done. And thus far has a good start here. Moto 1 at Washougal. He's going to try to make the best of it. Kind of quickly lost ground with those leaders, but oh, and now look at Gonzalez does the exact same thing his teammate Whelan did a lap ago. Lays it down in the background. And it looks like Whelan actually just got back around Dickerson, so Isaiah Dickerson running into some problems here. All the while, 2 leaders, 2 championship contenders. 1 and 2 in the points, 1 and 2 on the racetrack. And Tyler Lang kind of has just really quietly become really the star of the season, it seems, because he has had an up and down season from Supercross, and then really didn't get the ball rolling outdoors until he won Colorado at round 3, and since then has just been pretty consistently on the blocks, and obviously has challenged Gebhardt here for this championship lead on a number of occasions. With the win last week at Millville, Gebhardt was able to get it back, but something tells me Lang is not done fighting for this thing. Down by the finish line jump they come, creeping up on the 1/3 distance of the race. Shout out Dustin61090, dropping in 5 biddies, getting the train rolling tonight. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for the bits. Thanks so much to everybody who continues to donate to the cause here, making things quite enjoyable for me. I love streaming these races, but I also like seeing some pennies roll into the old bank account. So I thank thee for the biddies, dear friend. Walter Gebhardt continues to lead. 10 minutes in, 20 minutes to go. Championship rivals 1 and 2. Alex Effort's dropping by tonight. Good to see the old master himself, track builder extraordinaire. Dropping in 110 biddies, cleaning out the basement. He found some old bits. Love to see it. Of course, Alex Efforts is the all-time leader in bits givers. You want to try to catch him? I wouldn't be remiss to say that would be awesome of you to try. Tyler Lang just kind of marking Gebhardt here. He isn't really gaining time, but he hasn't really lost a lot of time either. This gap has stayed relatively consistent. Maybe a slight advantage now to Gebhardt, but really there's nothing in it in MX Simulator, especially with fall-off crashes always ever prevalent, and a lot of these guys seemingly struggling with this section right here, where they swing wide, they come over this single, and they clip those tough blocks right there. And then the whoops before the finish. Like, look at Gebhardt here. He's going to go outside, quad in, and then just try to kind of whoop them out. Does a pretty nice job right there, but these things can reach up and bite you awfully quickly. Let's take a look at Dickerson going through him. He's moved back up into 3rd. Triples in, getting some hops there. Just kind of carrying the speed. Look at, there's Whelan though going down, just like I said. So Whelan went down. Braden Carter, he's moved up into 5th now, so the 65 machine on the charge, as is Trent Adams, the DX3 number 323. Dalton Plessinger, whose bike I never seem to have. I always have his gear, never have his bike. Not sure why that is, but maybe I get together with old Jack Haley and figure out what's going on. Versus PC one to watch, Kevin Gonzalez, just lurking back here as well. Phil Bull has dropped several positions since we last saw him. He's battling it out for 3rd not too long ago. Now he's back here in 9th, and Trent Shepard holding down that top 10. Field kind of spread out in different groups, it seems. Leader's pretty far gone. Dickerson all by himself in 3rd. 4, 5, 6 close together, then 7, 8, 9, 10 all pretty close together as well. Let's go on board for a lap here around Washougal with Tyler Lang, who holds down 2nd. That gap's still at about 2.5 seconds, and it has stayed there. Lang trying to find the sweet spot on this racetrack right now and put the pressure on the championship leader. Only 1 point in it between these two, but as it runs provisionally, Gebhardt will extend that points lead out to a 4-point advantage in the championship. If Lang can somehow come up and switch the tables around, he'd pull out a 2-point lead in the championship. And that's all just heading into the second moto. Lang this time through. Again, I guess it kind of evens out to that 2.5 second mark every time. These guys really just matching each other pace for pace. And the whoops, it looks like Lang's just having a little bit more problem with rhythm in the whoops there. But really hasn't lost him any time. 2:28.8 to a 2:28.8. I mean, they are running the exact same lap times. Their fastest lap times of the race are pretty close too. Little front end tuck there for Lang, cost him about a second a time. But again, still just not much in it. Take a peek back and find ourselves a battle. Kevin Gonzalez with Phil Bull hot on his heels. And the 80 of Trent Shepard trying to find a way into this battle as well. Kind of a two-man fight though, as Gonzalez off the track again. Allows Phil Bull to go right on through. Let's see if the 53 can respond here as he is trying to go after him, and this time not going to work. Actually laid it over in the rut a little bit there and allows the door of opportunity to open up for the 80 of Trent Shepard. Shepard closing this gap down from behind. They roll through the mechanics area. Oh, and Dalton Plessinger just getting up from a crash now is right behind Phil Bull. So we got 4 riders all in the same shot here as they head up Horsepower Hill. Bull, Plessinger, Gonzalez, Shepard coming into your living room here at the top of the hill, or perhaps into your office, wherever you have your desktop set up and are watching this tonight. Plessinger trying to go back to work on the Australian of Phil Bull. Who will break later into the switchbacks? Plessinger trying to use the outside into the inside, and it's contact, and he lays it down. He's going to lose those 2 positions as Gonzalez and Shepard go by. Meanwhile, Gonzalez trying to have a peek on Phil Bull, lays it down on the inside, so loses those positions right back. And suddenly Trent Shepard is right in the thick of this battle. Everybody launching out deep into the sand, landing nose heavy, making sure not to have a fall-off crash there. Oh, and Don Plessinger gets into the back of Shepard, and they're both down off the bike. So through goes Daniel Mills, as did Kevin Gonzalez. Our Versus PC one to watch, having an up and down ride here today, trying to run down Phil Bull in his Seattle Supersonics gear. Same look up ahead for Bryce Whelan, and it's Trent Adams splitting him. Back out front, Gebhardt still leads. And it looks like that gap is actually extended even a little bit more. Tyler Lang just now coming up Horsepower Hill. Looks like he is about 8 seconds down. So perhaps a couple more mistakes out of the 18 machine really opened up that gap. Then all by himself in third is Isaiah Dickerson. I mean, all by himself. He's pretty close to the leaders, but Braden Carter is really far behind. Trent Adams, 5th. Let's go ahead and do a Moto Option Clothing Top 20 rundown while we're at it here, just past the halfway point of the Moto. Joking around a little bit earlier, I forget who it was, but someone says $20 could save you 20%, so I don't know what that means, but we're coming up to the 20-minute mark of the Moto, so maybe $20 will save you 20%. Well, maybe if you donate 20 biddies, it'll save you 20% on your free pass to watching this live stream. Let's just say that. It is still Walter Gebhardt though out front. The Prestige Worldwide number 13 machine trying to reassert himself as this championship leader with no pressure. Looking awfully smooth after picking up the win last week at Millville. Tyler Lang, his championship combatant, runs in second. 1 point between these two. Pretty big distance on the racetrack though at the moment. And the MV Films number 18 trying to reel him back in as we creep into the final third of this moto. Isaiah Dickerson on the number 25 MV Films ride. Ran up front, crashed a couple times, has worked his way back up into third. And right now he's trying to put down some heaters to catch up to the leaders. That one rhymed. I don't got the time. But I do have fourth place on the screen right here. Braden Carter of iLab.com. The number 65 machine trying to go around the 131 of Leon Ty, I believe it is. Carter up in fourth. Trent Adams is in fifth. The 323 DX3 rider trying to hold off Phil Bull on the number 22 Team Volcom ride in sixth. And seventh just behind that looks to be Bryce Whelan on the number 49 BPC machine. We got three riders going for the top 5 position right here. Two Cowie teams and a Husky team. None of them are the same though. That Volcom ride trying to go after the DX3KX machine of Trent Adams. Both of them scrubbing it down, and Bull trying to get to the inside. Adams went to shut the door, and Bull trying to sneak down that inside is going to make it work and move up into fifth. Adams drifts back to sixth. Oh, and Whelan goes down. He was seventh. He's going to lose that seventh spot to his teammate. Kevin Gonzalez going through on the 53 BPC ride, our versus PC one to watch up inside of the top 10. And Daniel Mills also moves up into 8th on the number 35 Taggart Designs ride. So that drops Whelan actually back behind 9th, which is Trent Shepard on the iLab.com number 80. And now 10th for Bryce Whelan over the top of the hill. Dalton Plessinger running 11th for Active Co. Number 333 machine, just ahead of Jeremy Siebold on his new team this week, the Odyssey MX rider. So Siebold hopping over and finding a new home here with Odyssey, running 12th. Lana Solis, the Lithuanian rider for the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing machine, runs in the 13th spot right now, just ahead of the road of Dylan Copeland. Taggart Designs number 44 is 14th. Roy Mitchell on the 270 whip style ride is in 15th. 16th, Ralston Bear on the Hemlock number 948. 17th is Connor Wells. Oh, I'm sorry, Neil Fitzpatrick of the iLab.com ride, and then the Odyssey MX machine of Connor Wells comes through in 18th. 19th for Chris Schmidl. Looked really good earlier this week at Lommel. Good moto right now, but not going to finish higher than I think he was hoping to finish here. And Jacob Warden on the 59 rounds out your top 20 for Wildside Designs. And that, my dear friends, been a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at Moto Option Clothing. Walter Gebhardt wheeling his way up to the top of Horsepower Hill, continuing to extend that lead. And actually the second place position has changed. The teammates have swapped here. Dickerson now ahead of Lang. And that is kind of huge championship-wise. Dickerson, who is out of it, now ends up in front of his teammate. And I'd almost wonder if it stays relatively close coming down the stretch here, whether or not we'd see a swap of positions. Dickerson, though, fastest qualifier. Trying to open up that gap right now over Lang. just so it doesn't have to make it that type of situation. Or maybe what he's trying to do is help Lang go forward instead of continue to drop time on your race leader. Lang, though, trying to find an opportunity down the inside of Dickerson, and he's going to take advantage of it and try to scoot on by his teammate. Goes to the outside. Dickerson tucks back inside. They're going to come out bar to bar nearly on the table, but dropping down the hill, Lang will go back by. And I would just have to say that it didn't seem like there was a huge fight there being put up by Dickerson, but I can't swear to it being the case. So Lang back up into second. Here's the battle for fifth, still continuing on. Phil Bull, Trent Adams. Up to the top of the hill over the sky shot here in the back. Close battles between those two continue. Trent Shepard, Jeremy Siebold now finding as well up inside of the top 10. So the number 19 machine, former 250 Supercross champion. Strong ride here to charge his way forward. Bringing Daniel Mills and Bryce Whelan with him. And Kevin Gonzalez. Solis, Mitchell, Bear, Plessinger, Wells, Copeland. Everybody seems to be relatively spread out, so maybe now would be a pretty decent time to go ahead and do a little run through the field. Let's actually wait till we go through the whoops though with Gebhardt. And Gebhardt just really in control of this race at this point. No immediate pressure from behind. Since taking the lead, he's kind of just slowly opened up that gap, and then when the mistakes started raining down for Lang, really took advantage of that and has set sail with this race lead. A couple crashes could make things interesting, but all too often anymore, these guys don't have those late race crashes in them. Solid as a rock sometimes. Not in the old days. You used to be able to get away 2012, 2013, even a little 2014. You could crash 3, 4, 5 times a race. Still quite easily win motos if you had the speed to do it. These guys make it really tough today to do that, though. Even one crash sometimes is a bit excessive for these guys. They're just out here putting in the laps, putting in the motos, and really just making it look way easier than it really is. So here comes Gebhardt down by the finish line, and this is where we will stick and wait for the field to kind of come on through. There is Gebhardt over the line to start lap, what are we on now? Lap 12. Here's Lang in second. Actually, zoom in a little bit more. And Dickerson going across there in third. Couple lappers going through right there. I saw Batchlet didn't get the number on the other one though. And look at the gap that our leaders have right now. This, I believe, yeah, Braden Carter here in fourth on the 65. Coming over the line there. And waiting for fifth, which should be Phil Bull. Yeah, there it is, the 22 machine of Phil Bull. Just up the road from Trent Adams, who's rolling through on the 323 behind him. Then Siebold all the way up to seventh, continuing his march forward. Great ride for the 19. Got Bryce Whelan rolling through now. He's got Trent Shepard right behind him on the number 80. As they continue to fight over the 8th position. And then 10th right now is our Versus PCO watch Kevin Gonzalez, with the 11th position of Daniel Mills right behind him, and Alana Solis continuing a good charge forward is up into 12th. So he crosses the line there. 13th is Dalton Plessinger, just ahead of Roy Mitchell in 14th. Couple triple-digit dudes battling it out. This should be 15th right here, which is Dylan Copeland on the 44. Austin Bear right behind him. Sean Klein back here. Neil Fitzpatrick. Jacob Warden. And Chris Schmidl, look at that insane battle between all those guys, with Bloxham not too far behind, and Connor Wells on the 202. We'll have to go up to that battle that looks like going on for about 15th spot. This looks like maybe Rasmus Eriksson coming through the whoops just ahead of Leon Tai. Down goes Eriksson though. And Brett Powers also makes his way down the whoops as well. I think that's Carter Hutcherson on the 771. And then our race leader, Walter Gebhardt, coming through. So yeah, let's take a look. Let's look at that battle going on. Oh, look at Don Plessinger and Roy Mitchell duking it out over the top of the hill. Oh, Plessinger! Little pirouette there. So yeah, here's Klein and Bear. They've separated from that group. Copeland, Schmidl, Warden. Fitzpatrick is off the track with Wells right here. So they all were pretty close together. No longer are they with each other, though, it seems. Oh man. Warden trying to avoid Copeland almost gets hung up on that rut. And everybody taking evasive maneuvers. All right, so 30 minutes in. Not quite sure whether or not Gebhardt crossed the line before the 30-minute mark or after. Judging by his position on the racetrack, I would guess he crossed before, so we're looking at 3 laps still to go. And trying to get through some serious lap traffic right now. Hutcherson and Powers on either side. But he's cleared that group now, and he's going to leave all the drama for his mama. Or maybe he's just going to leave the drama for Isaiah Dickerson. Not sure which one he's going to opt for. And Dickerson, though, has definitely pulled away from his teammate Lang, though. And not sure, again, whether or not there will be any sort of discussion going on here. Dickerson was in a position championship-wise to do some damage before Redbud. And things took a kind of dramatic turn there, and it's really just down to Lang in terms of the MV Films riders that can perhaps win this title. So if it stays like it is, you would think maybe Dickerson lets him go. I really am not sure how the dynamic is going to work between these two. But as it stands right now, Lang losing 2 more crucial points in the championship if he cannot get back around his teammate. And as they say, the old adage goes, every point counts. And if you don't believe it, all you need to do is go back and watch the final round from last year's racing, the 2018 Indiana National, and see just how close that 450 championship came. And then you'll understand how much every point counts. Looks like green flag's still out though, so it is 2 laps to go. Gebhardt did not quite get to the line. Lang has gone down again, so that's really kind of going to be the answer there, because there's no way Dickerson's going to lose 15 seconds of time just to let him go. So Lang kind of shot himself in the foot there. Braden Carter, Phil Bull. Ooh, look at Jeremy Siebold all on the back door of Phil Bull here. And this is to get up into 5th. Would love to see the lap chart here, because I think Siebold has started well back and worked his way all the way forward at this point. Tremendous ride for the number 19. Really good way to debut on his new team as well. Trying to swing around the outside, get alongside Phil Bull into the wall. And over this little scrub double. Let's see if Siebold can get the power down. thought about the inside, then goes outside, banks off, trying to carry some speed into the corner here. Both of them go middle, swing wide, although Bull made a small mistake. And up horsepower hill they come. 86 of Bachelet, that's a lapped rider just up ahead. Seabolt's got the power and the drive to make the move. Let's see if he's gonna make it stick though. Bull crossing over, a little side swap there, but Seabolt makes a pass and goes up into 5th. Tremendous ride there for Seabolt to charge forward. Now, whether or not he'll have time to go after Carter remains to be seen. I don't think so. He's somewhat close, but I don't think he's close enough. All the while, Gebhardt just taking the white flag out front. On his way to another race victory, continuing to extend his points lead as it runs right now. And a similar story to last week at Millville, winning the opening moto. Wasn't able to wrap it up in the second one. That went to Sean Klein, who's well down the order right now. But Gebhardt trying to really open up the gap in the championship if he can. And he's got a little helper back here in Isaiah Dickerson, whether he knows it or not. Tyler Lang had second place. All to himself in this race, kind of threw it away a little bit, but still. Dickerson out here taking points away a little bit from his teammate. No Dickerson on the track. Lang would still get second, only lose those 3 points. Now he's going to lose 5 points to Gebhardt in the championship.
Well, I'm just waiting for a mate, as I said.
Up the top of the hill one more time these guys go, and Gebhardt working his way out of the forest, dropping back down into the valley. Through the switchbacks one more time. Seeing those lines getting a lot more developed. Ruts are a lot deeper. Gebhardt's got this thing under control though. Let's see if he does a little bit of style here. Either off the triple.
I'm just waiting for a mate.
Nope. Or does he get sideways off the scrub single for us? Lays it down just like usual. Jumping right into a downed rider. That was Chris Schmidl. And very fortunate there. Gebhardt did not go down. Lucky to ride out of that one. And now it's kind of back to business as usual because Dickerson could get a little bit closer with a fall-off crash there from Gebhardt. Down the hill one more time. Gebhardt has got this thing locked up and loaded. Shipping out tomorrow. Taking this victory all the way to the house. Final corner here. Down through the whoops one more time. And your championship leader, Walter Gebhardt, will take the victory here in Moto 1 at Washougal. Dominating fashion. Gonna beat out Dickerson, your fastest qualifier. Lang is gonna get pretty close to Dickerson here. And Seabolt has also gotten around Braden Carter, so Carter must have gone down because Phil Bull is also through. Seabolt up to 4th, and we're waiting to see. Let's see. Dickerson is not too far ahead of Lang. To the finish line he comes here. Swapping out a little bit, but he will still cross the line second, so he did not allow his teammate Lang through. Curious decision, but Lang will still cross the line in 3rd. And Seabolt trying to hold off Phil Bull for 4th. This is going to be a last-ditch effort here for the Australian. And it comes unglued there as he goes down. Now can Carter close it down? Bull just getting going as Carter dropping down the hill in the background. I think it's going to be a little bit too little too late. As Seabolt, wow, impressive ride. To come from well back to come across the line here in 4th. Phil Bull looks like he is going to wrap up 5th over Carter. Trent Adams still trying to charge late. Versus PC one to watch, Kevin Gonzalez coming to the line as well. Gonna just beat out his teammate Whelan, who is getting close there at the end, but slid it out in the background. Trent Shepard launching into the rollers. Whew, nice save. Would have been a disaster there to go down right at the end and lose a top 10 if Roy Mitchell was able to capitalize on that mistake, but he did not go down. He will hold on to 10th. Roy Mitchell gonna pick up 11th. We got a drag race. No, it is gonna be Solace who is gonna get 12th. That is the lapped rider Daniel Batchlett. Daniel Mills coming through the line here as well. Gonna be 13th. Sean Klein, who was second last week at Millville, won the second moto. Gonna go 14th in Moto 1 at Washougal. Austin Bear followed him right across the line. Jake Warden gonna pick up 16th here. Hippity hoppity hoo through the rollers. And 17th. Last man on the lead lap, Dalton Plessinger. 18th was Chris Schmidl. 19th for Neil Fitzpatrick. And 20th, Brett Powers. So Donut MX picking up a point, unofficially of course, but 18 seconds down was Dylan Copeland, so I don't think Copeland is going to quite take that one away from him. And over the line comes Plessinger to give us those cuts. Back here stays pretty much the same. In fact, the whole field stayed the same. No changes. Gebhardt's still your winner. And really not a lot of cuts to go around. It looked like only the 49 of Whelan got about 3 seconds of cuts. Same for Hutcherson on the 771. Everybody else, though, under the second mark for cuts. So good people staying on the racetrack this time. All right, 5-minute break incoming. Love when people send me skins right before the racing begins. Just love, love, love it. All right, well, this, folks, is where I like to open it up to the chat. This is the AKA segment. Ask Kellen anything. Yeah, if you guys have questions you'd like to ask me, send it over to the chat right now, and I'd be happy to try to answer them to the best of my abilities. Doesn't have to be about sim, doesn't have to be about racing. It can be whatever you like, and I'll try. What do you call someone with a dual citizenship? I think you'd call them a dually. Let's see, what else we got here? MXGP or Sim? So personally, I like Sim more than GP. I'm not a casual player, I would say. I'm a pretty more intense gamer, and if you're an intense gamer and you like real life motocross, I think Sim is the way to go. But if you're a casual player, I think MXGP is the way to go, or MX or ATV All Out, whichever you choose. But yeah, I like Sim. What is the greatest championship fight in MX Simulator history? Well, that's tough. I mean, you got to say Adam Holm and Leclerc last year outdoors was pretty epic. Tyson Fresquez and Tyler Crane in 2012 outdoors was really good. Probably Hunter Root and Fresquez indoors in 2016 was also really a good battle. But yeah, that Holm Leclerc thing, I just never ever seen anything like it before. It was amazing. Really, really cool. What was the best thing you ate while overseas? I had more schnitzel than you can imagine. I had what's called Wiener Schnitzel, which is veal schnitzel, and then pork schnitzel, a lot in Germany. And it was all really good, so I don't know if I could pick out one schnitzel I really liked, but those were all really good. And then I actually did a cooking class with my wife in Salzburg, where we made was called a Salzburg Nuckerl and a apple strudel, or Apfelstrudel if you're in Vienna or in Austria, I guess. And both of them were so good. It was really, really delicious. So either one of those, I think I'd probably say is my favorite. Are you ever gonna race again? I don't know. Question mark right now. I will say maybe. How much do I miss A-Wood? I always miss A-Wood, even when he's here. Do you yell start your systems before you get it on with your wife? No. Let's just say that. Do you sell start your systems? Do you? Oh no, wait. And have you played the new DLC for All Out or whatever MX game got that added DLC? If so, how is it? Outdoor tracks is what I'm curious about mainly. Yes, I did an actual, you know, MX vs. ATV All Out. They sent me the DLC early. I got to play Washougal early, and I got some of the other tracks early as well. I did a video on Washougal. It's really good. I think they did a really good job of replicating stuff that, you know, obviously we do a good job here in Sim as well, but for the console gamers, I think it's really cool that they have something to play. I'm not a huge fan of the all-out physics engine that much, but it's still a fun game to play every now and then, and I think that the DLC stuff is, yeah, really cool of them to add to the game. Can you do an AM race stream before the end of the season, please? Yeah, maybe. I'll see how much time I have. I'm always super busy, so it's really tough to schedule stuff like that, but I'll look into it. I'd like to do one before the season's out, because I have a couple people I want to bring in and like co-broadcast with me. So it's on the list, but I won't commit to it yet, because I just don't know that I'll be able to do it for sure. So yeah, Lucky Donut, I may cover an AM race national. I've done them before, but it's been a while. Jay Mayo wants to know, how's the trip overall? Freaking amazing, so much fun, lots of videos, lots of pictures. I'll probably have maybe I'll have a vlog come out, I'm not sure, but yeah, it was a freaking blast. Could Seabolt win Moto 2? Absolutely. With that ride through the field, that was incredible. I haven't played the Loretta's DLC version yet. I should play Washougal All Out while talking about the real life race. I could do that, but I've already played Washougal once, so maybe I'll do something like that. Let's see, anybody else? How often do you ride in real life? Not enough, not enough. I used to try to go about 2 to 3 times a month. I actually used to race 2 to 3 times a month, but I stopped doing that when I went to college. And then when I went to college, it was maybe once a month that I'd go ride, and right now it's freaking only like 4 or 5 times a year. But I did actually ride the e-bike in Austria, the KTM e-bike. I rode it at the KTM factory in Austria, so that was the last time I went riding. That was last Wednesday. But I'm sure I'll go riding at Paula or something like that soon. Let's see. Any other questions? What would my SX intro song be? So, I had an intro in Sim a couple times. I always chose AC/DC because I liked For Those About to Rock. It's a good song, so I chose that. But in real life, I would probably choose Out of My Head by Puddle of Mud. Just an OG song that I like, good beat. And me and my friend Aaron used to listen to that and just absolutely bump it before we'd do a cross-country race back in high school, so. Any other questions? Let's see. Did I miss anything? What is my real-life bike? It is a 2002 CR250. Like the 2-stroke, so rucking it. And all right, I think I got all the questions in. Cool. All right, versus PC 1 to watch. Let us go with... I'll go with Frank Jackson. He qualified 4th. He had a bad first moto. Probably not what he was hoping for. If he's still here, he'll be our versus PC 1 to watch. If he's not here, then I'll go Daniel Mills. We'll just say that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for race number 2 here at Washougal. Moto 2 lining up on the gate. Bryce Whelan's got a good look at it again. Got the whole shot in the first race. See whether or not he can do it in this second one. Everybody lined up, everybody looking at the gate. The board is sideways. Who's going to get the Racetech.com whole shot? Again, Saulnier with a great jump, but it's Whelan who gets to the corner first. He's rocking these hole shots. Whelan out front. Right there, Dickerson in second. We got Plessinger in third as Whelan goes off the track and loses the lead. Gebhardt to the front. Dickerson side by side. Plessinger, Siebel. Look at this mad rush up the hill the first line. There's so many guys going up Horsepower Hill side by side. It's Dickerson going to the lead momentarily as everybody tries to funnel into those corners at the top there. That was maybe one of the cleanest starts I've seen in this game. There were so many guys side by side going up Horsepower Hill on that first lap. That was incredible. So Dickerson leads, Gebhardt in second, Plessinger third, and Siebel right there in fourth. Oh, Plessinger just went down. I think he may have taken a Team Volcom rider with him. I'm not sure if it was Phil Bull or not, though. Dickerson launching out into the sand, though. And Gebhardt trying to give chase. These two went 1-2, but in reverse order in that first moto, so this will determine the overall. If they stay 1 and 2 here, whoever finishes in front of the other will win the overall on the day. I think Siebel would love to say something about it, though. Down through the trees they go, and up to the final corner before the finish line. This time through, it will be Isaiah Dickerson trying to lead the first lap of the race. Big swaps before the line, but saves it and allows Gebhardt right up onto his back wheel. I had one final question come in from Scrax, and it's relevant, I feel, a little bit. He asked what's my PC specs. I've got a Intel i7 8800K. I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM. I got a GeForce 1080 graphics card. What else? It's kind of the key components, obviously. Yeah, I should make a command for it. Actually, it might be a command. If you guys type in, it might just be !PC. Yeah, there you go. Duh. Look at me, I don't even remember my own commands I've set up. Dickerson leading though, Gebhardt second. Siebold in third, but Plessinger putting the pressure on, and Plessinger gonna force a mistake there. Around the 333 goes on Siebold, up into third. Siebold trying to fight back on the inside. Ooh, gets a little out of shape. Looking back, it may have actually been Mitchell that was the one hung up by Plessinger on the first lap in the switchbacks, but he has recovered nicely. He is in a heated battle with Daniel Mills, who just laid it down. Everybody shuffling through. That was Warden and Solace going by. Christian Reed, excuse me, also back here. Apologize for the occasional little bubble in my throat there. Trying to use drinking to keep myself awake. That is going to result in a disaster. As everybody funnels over the finish line jump. Christian Reed, Jonathan Alexander, Sean Klein, not a great start once again. Chris Schmidl, Bryce Whelan and his teammate Kevin Gonzalez locked at the hip all day long, and then Tyler Lang. Lang putting the pressure here on Gonzalez, but he has got to do a lot more than put the pressure on. He's got to go forward and quickly, especially with so many of the faster guys who finished up front in that first moto ahead of him in this second moto. Trying to get down the inside, get the power down to go around Gonzalez, and he will make that pass happen right there. Meanwhile, Whelan trying to go up ahead. And look at the teammates back here. Look at the BPC teammates. It's like a marketing ploy. They're going to be on the same stretch of the racetrack all day long. Rock that sweet gear made by Chase Blakely there. A little battle between Schmidl and Alexander up to the top of the hill. Oh man, big off there for Alexander. Didn't quite see if there was the contact. Just up the road, Sean Klein trying to square off Christian Reed. Dropping down out of the forest, and Klein gonna land long and cut the line down to take the line away from Reed. Move up into, what was that, 10th right there? 9th? So 9th now for Klein, 14th in that first moto. He's got to do a lot better, obviously. Keep his championship hopes alive. All the while, chaos going on up here. Daniel Mills, Solis, Warden, Mitchell all pretty close together. Dickerson not too far up ahead of them. Battle for the lead, though, going on. Oh, Dalton Plessinger, I thought was about to throw it away. And we got 3 riders nose to tail as they go through the Millville rollers. Siebold trying to get the drive to take the lead. Almost pulled alongside. Didn't quite get it done yet, though. And Plessinger back there is lurking, wanting to take advantage of this if he can. And Plessinger actually just made a small mistake as look at Gebhardt lays it down. And Siebold gets hung up, so Plessinger swings around the outside. He's going to try to get both of them for the lead. Oh, it's near contact as they go off the inside anthill roller there. Plessinger trying to use the inside line. Could not quite make it stick there. And Gebhardt goes back to the front. Now Siebold looks for an opportunity to pass Plessinger back, but has to funnel back in behind him. Now who's going to get the drive up Horsepower Hill? Gebhardt laying it down. Plessinger with a good smooth drive. May have got the best drive of them all up the hill. He's got right up to the back of Walter Gebhardt here. Both riders carrying a ton of momentum around that outside at the bottom of the hill. And now dropping on the Ride 365 drop down here into what's basically like the stadium section of the racetrack. There's a lot of people on the hillsides, either side right here. You can really see those switchbacks from several locations of the racetrack. Oh, Plessinger just carrying so much speed around that outside, but it almost looked like it lost him some time to Siebold there. All the while, Gebhardt trying to get away from both of them so he doesn't have to deal with it. Battle for second is on, though. Plessinger trying to hold off Siebold. Look at Siebold launching the flat off the table. Trying desperately to make the move here on Plessinger. Swings wide. That'll turn to the inside. Let's see if he can hook one of these inside ruts and make the move. He will. Down the inside. Out of the trees they come and into the finish line. Let's see how Siebold attacks these rollers. Look at Plessinger. Got a really nice run there. Actually pulled alongside Siebold over the finish line jump. But the 19 machine able to shut the door. And I'll tell you what, it looks like Siebold's advance actually has a really sharp roll limit, because every time he kind of lays into a rut, it just kind of lays in really hard and it doesn't come back as easy as it looks like he wants it to. So now Siebold gonna try to go after Gebhardt for the lead, and he is wasting very little time to do so. Closing right up onto the back of the number 13 machine. Oh, Plessinger down in the background. Gonna lose touch with this battle now. But boy, oh boy, did he do a great job holding on. But these two absolutely going at it for the lead right now. Gebhardt leading away from Siebold. Let's go on board with the 19 machine here and take a look at what it's like on board. Fantastic debut ride here from Siebold. And I actually have the lap chart in front of me right here. Siebold crossed the line. Lap number 1, he was 9th. Then he went back to 13th. And at one point on lap 5, he was in 18th. Somehow was able to crowd that back to a 4th place finish. And now trying to go after Gebhardt for the lead here in Moto number 2. Only about a second in it. Oh, Siebold goes down before the finish line. Oh man, he got right into some of that rough stuff, and it just spit him off the bike right there. Man, that just was, it looked like he hit a bomb in the ground. It just exploded. The bike started kicking frantically, and down he went. So Dalton Plessinger now sees that Siebold has gone down. He is going to try to close up onto him. Daniel Mills, by the way, is running 4th. And he's just ahead of Roy Mitchell, so a couple of the old guys on the circuit out here, or more of the veterans, not necessarily the old guys, although I guess comparatively they are. Early 20s for Mills, mid 20s for Mitchell. And I would say that's quite a bit older than the average age going on around this place. Sean Klein back here with Dickerson, Warden, and Lang. So here is Lang looking at 9th position right now after he was 3rd in that first moto, and again with Gebhardt leading, he has got to be fuming inside of his head right now, trying to go forward, and just it's not working as you would hope. It's gonna go around Jake Warden though, who was a little bit off the side of the track there, just a small mistake. By the way, it appears that Bryce Whelan has called it a moto. Down running in the 34th position, but times are not updating for him, so I believe he is out of this one. Tough luck for the back-to-back Racetech.com Whole Shot Award winner here at Washougal. You guys are talking about Facebook. Now, my Facebook homepage song was a song called Evil by the band Interpol. Classic stuff. Siebold has gone backwards even more. Whoa! Little mistake there for Siebold again, and Mitchell goes through. Yeah, I'm sorry, MySpace. I see. Meant MySpace. Don't know why I said Facebook. Mine has already changed over so much. Top 8. Oh, MySpace stuff. So Plessinger's moved back up into 2nd after Siebold has really started throwing the anchor a little bit out here. Mills up to 3rd now. Siebold is just ahead of Roy Mitchell in 4th. And Leon Ty there on the 131 going a lap down, but Sean Klein and Isaiah Dickerson are battling it out behind him. Ty, by the way, I wanted to give a quick shout out to as he's gonna get together there with Dickerson. That's not gonna be a good look for him, but I was about to say he's actually rocking a Jeff Walker replica setup this week, and he told me that supposedly Jeff Walker watches these streams. So if you're watching, Mr. Walkman, welcome. Glad to have you. Hope things are well. All the while, the battles are continuing over this second position. Gebhardt has stretched that lead out. Plessinger, Siebold, Roy Mitchell, and Klein. Yeah, call them Millville rollers. I know they're Washougal rollers. Look, man, I am still exhausted. My wife and I went to bed last night at like freaking 7:30, and we're still on Austrian time a little bit, I think. Freaking streaming the GPs on Monday. I was like half asleep during most of the broadcast. I actually took a 10-minute nap in between the two broadcasts because I was so tired. Oh my goodness. Siebold wants a piece though of Dalton Plessinger. Wants to go right back around him. Move back up into second, but their leader he's gone. Gebhardt has stretched this thing out really far.
As I said.
Down through the final corner they come once again. 17 minutes in, 13 minutes and 2 laps remain. Battle is continuing to rock here for second. And Roy Mitchell would like to have a word with these two as well, as he's lurking back there in that 4th place position. Siebold is just giving Plessinger here everything he can handle. He is trying to apply loads of pressure, maybe force that 333 into a mistake, or maybe force himself into a mistake. Wow, that was a really weird crash. Siebold going off the track around the outside and then just lays it down. Yeah, I would say that something looks a little mischievous about his advanced stability setup, because the point in which you reach that full limit angle, it just goes well beyond that sometimes. So now Lang has moved around him. Klein having a better second moto right now as Roy Mitchell moves up into 3rd. Klein is running 4th, so he's looking at a 14.4 day. Lang looking at a 3.5 day, which is going to be just a bitter disappointment for him given the current situation with Gebhardt leading, and we just saw Siebold going down off the track right there, so Daniel Mills going to go back through. Siebold probably not too happy with the way his ride is going right now. 18th to 4th in the first moto, was battling for the lead like 4 laps ago, and now he's down again, and he just disconnected, so it's Jeremy Siebold has called it a moto right there. And you saw it happen live. That is the epitome of rage quitting right there. The frustration's boiling over. And instead of finishing out that moto with about 10 minutes left to go and still in a pretty good points bank position, he has called it right there. So very frustrating end to the moto there for Siebold. Gebhardt, Plessinger, Mitchell, and Klein just made a mistake, but he was right on Mitchell. And here comes Lang, hopping through those whoops. So Lang and Klein, both of them really were hoping to have much better days, I think, than they are having in comparison to Walter Gebhardt, who is on his way to a 1-1 performance, and he's going to really extend this championship lead now. 14th in Moto 1 for Klein. The third in the first race for Lang, but he's had to do a lot of work in this second one to come from far back. Little mistake from Mitchell, and Klein goes off the racetrack. I'm not sure if he was trying to avoid Mitchell, who had just slid out up the road or what have you, but he just went straight off the outside of the corner there. So now Lang has a perfect opportunity to capitalize on some of these mistakes and go around Mitchell. He would move up into third right here if he can do that. And as it runs, it seems like Tyler Lang is poised to take second overall on the day behind Gebhardt. Put that power down and off the ride, 365 drop down the inside goes Lang into the switchback corner. Mitchell around the outside and avoiding the lapped rider. A nice job right there. I believe that was Chandler Bloxham that they split right there. Really nice job from Mitchell to leave the door wide open and keep that position. Lang still trying to do something about it though. Klein back here still wants to assert his name into the discussion as well if he can. Lang trying to scrub it down. Klein gets into the tough blocks into the background, so it's a mano-a-mano battle. Roy Mitchell versus Lang, veteran versus, well, not really a rookie anymore, but Lang is still pretty new to this scene, it seems. Trying to get that power down, wheeling to the finish line jump. So much speed being carried by the number 18 machine right there. Look at this, inside. Trying to get to that inside rut, but it just didn't quite hook how he wanted. Now he has to go back to the drawing board once again. And this is all for second. He still wants to get up to, or all for third, I should say. He still wants to get up to second. Dalton Plessinger holding that position further 9 seconds up the road from this battle that he's in. So the quicker he can move around Mitchell, the better his chances become of actually getting second in this race. Mitchell wants none of it though. The 270 whip style rider putting his bike exactly where it needs to be, lap after lap. Although look at this drive from Lang, trying to go up the left side of Horsepower Hill, the right side of your screen, up to the top, so close together. Mitchell launching over the top, and a little mistake might have cost him there. Still trying to keep the power down as they're going to go bar to bar on the drop down, but Lang has the advantage. Outside line for Mitchell, inside for Lang. Who's going to get the drive up to the top of the hill? Mitchell's still peeking inside as Lang jumps to the far outside, and they're going to go side by side on the drop down. And now Mitchell going far outside, and the switchback is going to turn to the inside into the next corner. Just not able to get it done. Now Lang finally solidifies that position. Absolutely awesome battling between these two, running side by side for so long and utilizing different lines as well. Mitchell doesn't look like he's done yet, but look at that layover from Lang and the scrub dualies as well. Incredible action. Lang was dragging bar, no doubt, on that sand single. So Mitchell settles back in behind him, and Lang has got to be wondering, what have I got to do? Just trying to get away from the old big Asian guy. And Mitchell's still fighting back. He's not letting go of him whatsoever. Trying to get a better line maybe through the whoops. But Lang putting the power down and stretching out that gap just a little bit now. So while we have a moment, let's go ahead and do a really quick top 20 rundown brought to you by MXS Lobby this time. Head over to mxslobby.com and get your servers dialed in today if you want to try out one for yourself. They have a nice little beginner package for you guys to try. Great stuff over there and would recommend. Walter Gebhardt continuing to lead, looking to go 1-1. On the day, Prestige Worldwide, number 13, crushing it. Dalton Plessinger, much better ride this second moto, turning it around. After going 17th in that first moto, but he just went down. This may be a change for second. And this could be huge championship-wise. Lang trying to get there as Plessinger is just getting going. So the power will be down going up Horsepower Hill for Tyler Lang. Plessinger still just fighting that bike, trying to get to the top of the hill. And Lang now right behind him there on the 18 MV Films ride. Let's go through the field as fast as we can here. Roy Mitchell on the Whip Style 270 is in 4th. It is 5th for Klein on the 10 Evergood machine. 6th for Daniel Mills, who we'll just call our Versus PC one to watch this moto. The Tiger Designs number 35 ride. Having a solid second moto here. Isaiah Dickerson on the MV Films number 25 is in 7th. 8th for Braden Carter on the 65 iLab.com machine. 9th for Kevin Gonzalez on the the 53 BPC machine. And 10th is Phil Bull on the Team Volcom number 22. 11th is Jacob Warden, Wildside Designs number 59. Luke Sullivan runs 12th on the 811 for Transmoto. 13th for Dylan Copeland on the 44 Tiger Designs machine. 15th for Trent Adams on the DX3323. Here is actually our Versus PC one to watch. I didn't think he started the moto, but he did. Frank Jackson, 16th, or I should say 15th for Viraco on the number 280. 16th is Carter Hutcherson for iLab.com. 771 machine rocking it out here. Christian Reed on the 354 privateer effort, holding it down in 17th. 18th for Chris Schmidl on the 377 ride. Don't have a skins, don't have a team name. Literally privateering it. Brett Powers runs in, I believe this is 19th now that we're looking at. Yep, on the Wildside Designs machine. And 20th belongs to Trent Shepard on the iLab.com number 80. All right, let's take a peek back out front. So Lang and Plessinger, that gap is kind of opened up a bit. Mitchell is still lurking right there. Daniel Mills right behind Dickerson. Then a really tight battle here between Phil Bull, Warden, Braden Carter, all pretty close together. And just up the road, Phil Bull applying tons of pressure here. Or as the Aussies would say, he's applying heaps of pressure to Kevin Gonzalez. So this is quite quickly developing into a multi-rider battle. Gonzalez, Bull, Warden, Shepard, or I should say Carter, that is, back there. All going through the rollers at the same time. And with only 2 minutes and 2 laps remaining, there is not a lot of time left for these guys to take advantage of some of the mistakes that are being made. Shout out to Nathan James 404 dropping off 100 biddies. Thank you, my dude. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Hope you're having a lovely evening. And I hope your MySpace top 8 still enjoys hanging out with you. This battle, though, for 8th. Crazy action going on. Braden Carter trying so hard to get that power down up to the top of the hill to get around Jake Warden. Both of them slamming into that outside berm. And Carter has a line. Let's see if he's able to square it down to the inside and block the line that Warden's going to use on the inside. It did not work, and Warden continues to hold that position down. All the while, Phil Bull has moved around Kevin Gonzalez. 4 riders in the switchbacks. And it must be pointed out too, 4 different manufacturers. I love seeing the diversity of manufacturers on the racetrack. Last year, it was literally the Honda Nationals. This year, we got quite a few different teams out here. It's really cool to see. Bunch of people launching out to flat there, including this group. And Worden, who was under attack there from Carter. Well, now it's actually come unglued. He just made a mistake. I was about to say that he was putting the pressure back on Gonzalez to go around him for 9th, but Carter moves around him for 10th. Gonzalez occupies that 9th spot, and Bull is in 8th, and they're good distance back here of Daniel Mills. Dickerson, Klein, Plessinger, Mitchell, Lang is up to 2nd, so that's huge. And looks like once again, Gebhardt did beat the timer back, so 3 laps to go here at Washougal. Tyler Lang doing a good job of salvaging here in this second moto, though. A second, gonna limit that damage. And what could have been a lot worse is only going to be an 8-point day for Gebhardt, so he'll extend his championship lead out to 9 points over Tyler Lang. And heading into the week break that we'll have next week is Loretta Lynn's goes down IRL. This will be a good confidence boost for Gebhardt to know that he has got this series still kind of in his grasps, with a dominating performance here today at Washougal. So this should be 2-lap board coming out this time through. It's going to click on to lap number 14. See, hippity hops his way through the rollers, and yes, indeed, 2-lap board going out right there. Lang, Mitchell, Plessinger, Klein rounding out your top 5 currently, and it's still pretty tight-knit between Mitchell through Klein here, battling it out for 3rd. So they come down by the rollers. Plessinger, nose heavy, and then riding the rear wheel through those rollers. Good. None of that looked really pretty, but it seemed effective, I should say. And Plessinger kind of throwing caution to the wind here late in this race, trying to get up into that 3rd place position. Be pretty big. Roy Mitchell wants to hold him off, though. Oh, and Plessinger lays it down right there. Mitchell 11th in the first moto, and we already talked about Plessinger finishing up in 17th in that first one. Klein was 14th, so tables have really flipped in this second one. These guys having much better rides. Right now, Klein is really closing it down. Onto that back wheel of Dalton Plessinger as they head up Horsepower Hill once again. For these guys, it is 2 laps to go. The white flag is about to come out for your race leader, Gebhardt. But it is still all to play for, and this is the battle for 4th on your screen. Plessinger and Klein, with Mitchell not too far up the road on that 270, and Plessinger going down a little bit long on the drop down right there, it seemed. And just could not quite get that active code machine stopped for the corner in time. So down he goes. Now he's got to watch out because here comes Isaiah Dickerson. Doesn't want to lose the top 5. Oh no, Plessinger down again. Dickerson going by. It is coming unglued there for Dalton Plessinger. Meanwhile, Gonzalez, Phil Bull, Jake Worden continuing their fight. Braden Carter's lost touch with these guys. And Chris Schmidl's bar to bar with our Versus PC one to watch Frank Jackson as they go by the mechanics area. So Jackson, who is 4th fastest qualifier, not quite able to convert the motos into something he's really stoked about. He was 30th in the first race. And right now runs in that 16th place position. So still getting some points in this one, unlike the first race. But I'm assuming after his good qualifying effort, he was hoping for a little bit more. Nonetheless, still trying to get as many points as he can. Chris Schmidl doing a nice job of holding him down. Peek back up ahead of them and see anything's going on. Copeland reasonably close to Gonzalez. They're going to be coming to the white flag this time by. Warden still pretty close to Phil Bull. And Klein got the bit between his teeth. He's closed up on Roy Mitchell now. Excuse me, that would be for third if he can get there, which would be big, and it would put our championship contenders 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack, same order that they are in the championship. Ooh, just a small kick right there, almost put Klein up to the top of the berm. Pressure cooker time for these guys. Last lap, trying to apply the pressure here. Klein launching down the hill, giving Roy Mitchell everything he can handle on this last lap of the race. This is where Mitchell's been awesome though. He swings to this outside, not gonna go outside this time. He protects inside, cuts back middle. Klein tries to go far inside, loses traction. That may have been it right there. Meanwhile, the man of the day, Walter Gebhardt, came into Washougal with a 1-point advantage in the championship and dominated the entire day, start to finish, both motos, 1-1 performance. Walter Gebhardt has won the Washougal National, 50 fresh points, and a 9-point championship lead leaving, as Tyler Lang will wrap this thing up here in second. And it looks as though Roy Mitchell has gotten away from Klein for third. So actually, Lang has actually got to get this section clean here for it to work in his favor. And still cross the line in second and keep that deficit only at 9 points instead of something bigger. He will do so as he crosses the line second. And how about it, Roy Mitchell, 11th in that first moto. He's going to pick up a nice third place finish here in this second one. Just nipping Sean Klein to the line, who was 14th. He's going to go 4th in this second moto. Isaiah Dickerson will round out the podium finishers today. He goes 2-5 to Lang's 3-2. Ends up on the box. Don Plessinger back here. Coming down to finish 6th in this one. All by himself. Phil Bull, Jake Warden still kind of battling it out. This could potentially come down to cuts or come down to some silly business going on in the rollers if Bull didn't get it cleanly, but he did. Bull will also get through the rollers fine. Daniel Mills crosses behind them. He's going to pick up 9th and 10th. Well, could be Copeland, could be Gonzalez. They're checking each other through the rhythm lane, and it's just Copeland over Gonzalez. 12th should be Carter here. 13th will be Trent Adams. He follows, I think that was Connor Wells or maybe Fitzpatrick over the line. And 14th, our versus PC one to watch, Frank Jackson. Leon Ty flipping for joy, I believe that is, before the finish line. Jackson crosses the line, 14th. 15th here for Luke Sullivan, just beating Chris Schmidl. Ooh, that was close. 6/100ths of a second. Trent Shepard ends up in 17th. 18th here, Carter Hutcherson. Through the rollers. In and out. Alana Solis going to end up in 19th. And Christian Reed, trying to get more points, will end up 20th because 21st was a lap down. It was Powers, Alexander, Bear, Wells, Erickson, Bloxham, Ty, Fitzpatrick, Siebold, Fowler, Solnier, Batchelor, Whelan, Garrett in this one. And waiting for those cuts to come across. Waiting for those cuts. There we go. All right. Looks like Schmidl got Sullivan on cuts. And that was it. Everything else stayed the same. And that will do it for us, folks. That has been 250 class here from Washougal. If you're watching live, don't touch that URL bar. We'll be right back on the other side of a quick break for more 450 action. But we'd like to thank you for watching the 250 action from round 9 of the Ride365.com Nationals here from Washougal. We'll see you guys in just a quick minute.